put up numbers because of his ability and just how hard he plays and his gifts.
Westbrook to the rim, he scores.
His ability to get to the rim is just impressive.
Westbrook for three.
Russell Westbrook showing you those eagle eyes. He's looking one way.
Leslie off a beautiful feed by Russ. Westbrook is a rebound and an assist away from a triple-double here in the first half. Rose, the runner. No, won't fall. Thunder with the rebound. Quick pass ahead, Oladipo. On a beautiful pass by Westbrook, and that is Russell's third consecutive triple-double. He got it in 19 minutes and 40 seconds.
That's ridiculous.
That's sick.
It's sick. I agree with you, partner. It just doesn't make sense. It's almost like video game numbers.
So nice. Russell Westbrook had another triple-double last night in a 112-103 win at Madison Square Garden. With his league-leading 8th triple-double of the season on Monday night, Westbrook is now averaging 1 for the season, 30.9 points, 10.3 rebounds, and 11.3 assists per game through 19 games. The only other person to average a triple-double this late in the season is one Oscar Robertson, who last did it in 63-64. Russell joining Magic Johnson and Robertson as the only players in NBA history to average a triple-double more than 5 games into a season. Robertson, yeah, he did it 3 times. Stephen A., how far can he take his team?
Second round of the playoffs, Western Conference. It's not his fault. This is a team that's the number 3 ranked offense in the NBA. This is a team that's number 1 in rebounding, number 3 overall in offensive rebounds, which means they get opportunities. And the last thing you need to do is give Russell Westbrook more opportunities. I was at the Garden last night, Max. I went to the game. Russell Westbrook is a superstar. This dude is electrifying in every way, and he is the greatest assassin in the game today. He is the most ruthless competitor that exists in the NBA. He will cut your neck to beat you. He will come all out 100 miles an hour all the time. He gives new meaning to the word aggression. He is just a bigger, more athletic version of Allen Iverson. I mean, this is that kind of dude. Unfortunately, the pieces around him are good enough to get to the postseason, but I don't think they're good enough to win the West. I think, obviously, the Golden State Warriors are standing in your way. I think the complete team that is the San Antonio Spurs, you have to give them the edge. I think the Clippers, to a lesser degree, you have to give them the edge, even though they're on a 2-game losing streak. The way that Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, particularly if Blake Griffin shows up, I think these are things that you can't ignore. Ultimately, Max, it just comes down to this. Oklahoma City is a good team. Billy Donovan can coach. Russell Westbrook is a superstar. Oladipo is no scrub. He can play. But you lost one of the top 3 players on the planet in Kevin Durant. You don't replace that with an Oladipo and think that you're going to be on the same level.
You also traded Ibaka.
That's right.
And by the way, can you... Look,
to Orlando.
Here's the answer to the question. They can maybe win a playoff series if they finish with a good enough record. If they're in the top 4 and they play one of the bottom 4 teams, if they're in the bottom 4 and they have to play one of the top 4 teams, it better be the 4th team if that's the Rockets
right.
or something like that,
team,
right?
They would be the 4th. They would
otherwise,
play 4th seed.
Otherwise, they won't even win a playoff series.
Right.
And Westbrook is my favorite player. The way I describe him is if Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson had a baby, you get Russell Westbrook. But players like that, Iverson, Kobe, Westbrook, are usually idolized out of proportion by fans, including me. Westbrook is my favorite because he's unbridled aggression. He wants it so bad, but I think he wants it too bad. And I think if he controlled some of that aggression a little more and didn't try to do too much, didn't try to carry too much of the burden of the team, he would be a better player. Of course, he would then not be my favorite player, probably. I mean, the reason I like him is because there's no brakes on him. But if he applied the brakes a little bit at times, and if he thought more, I think, of his teammates, then I think he would go farther. And I think the proof in the pudding is, I know it wasn't the same coach, and Brooks not as good a playoff coach, I would think, as Donovan. And I think you saw that in last year's playoffs. They made strides. But I know they were very young.
It's not a knock against Brooks. It's just that Donovan's a really good coach.
And I know they were very young, but you're the point guard, and you had Durant and Ibaka and Harden and other interesting pieces, and you couldn't get it done with them for years, even without Harden. And you brought in other guys, and you still couldn't get it done with them. And let's be honest, frequently it was because in the fourth quarter, Westbrook tried to do a little too much. It's the reason I love him, and it's also the reason I don't think they can win more than one playoff series.
Well, you and I agree in terms of the one playoff series because I got them going to the semifinals at best.
Right.
Having said all of that, here's where I think your analogy is unfair to Russell Westbrook. All of those points you made were valid until last year. They had the Warriors up 3 down. They were up 3.
What happened?
Kevin Durant didn't show up in Game 6.
Neither did Westbrook.
I know
at
that.
the end.
Wait a minute. Here's the deal. Russell Westbrook, and this is just a philosophical difference between you and I. My definition of choking and not getting it done is when you do what you normally do until times get tight. And I got this saying, times get tight, palms get sweaty, backsides get tight. You understand what I'm saying? And certain cats just can't show up. I certainly don't think that's Kevin Durant, period. I'm just talking about that particular game. He was taking shots. Charles Barkley's analysis during that first half of Game 6 was spot on. Kevin Durant was taking ill-advised shots. He was jacking up shots he never did. Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith and the crew were literally like, yo, who the hell is this guy? We don't see that Kevin Durant. We've never seen him before.
Westbrook then.
But Westbrook is just, he's
always
perpetually
done
that way.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm saying.
But you can offset that. I'm saying in that particular game.
If he pulled it back a little bit.
I'm saying in that particular game, this is my point. You're right. But in that particular Game 6, they had him. They had that series. That's not on Westbrook.
Well,
that was
Westbrook
a series.
play well in the fourth quarter?
No, he
yes
did not.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, but that was but still in all, there were times when he hadn't played it well in the fourth quarter on many occasions.
But that was the time to put the foot on the throat.
But Kevin Durant was always there to offset it, and he picked that particular game where he did not. We can't ignore that.
Right.
We can't ignore that.
Durant now, so they used to have 2 elite top 5 players, and in fact, when Durant was coming back from injury, it was unclear who was better between Durant and Westbrook at a certain point.
Yes, right. I always knew Durant's better.
You had seen fully the kind of player he could be in Durant's absence. But that player, full-throttle, triple-double Westbrook, is probably not actually the best thing for the Thunder. I agree with you. Oladipo's good. But he's shooting like 40 from 3, and so I understand they may have a problem. He may not do that all.
Good.
It's really good. He may not do that all season. Maybe they don't have enough shooting and everything. I feel as though, and I've always felt this way about Westbrook, the thing that makes me love him, the unbridled aggression, is probably also the thing that's holding him back from being an even better player.
Fair
Not
enough.
in the counting numbers, but in the results of the game.
Yeah, but if you had trouble completely relinquishing to Kevin Durant, you damn sure it's recognized. It's easy to recognize that you damn sure ain't gonna do it for Oladipo or Steven Adams or Enes Kanter, who showed up last night. So we understand that, and the reason why I bring that up, Max, is because I harken back to my years of covering Allen Iverson. Larry Brown and these dudes knew what they had. And they said, look, we got to surround him with dudes who are satisfied doing everything else because this dude is going to shoot the basketball. So if you know this about Russell Westbrook, what are you putting around him? And when I look at Kevin Durant, again, you work with him. Kevin Durant is phenomenal, and we see what he's doing in Golden State. I told you he's one of the top 2 players in the world. But that Game 6, you had an opportunity to close
I want to go back to that sentiment,
You had that
I want to go back to that sentiment. So then what you're saying is, I believe, and I'll tell you why in a second, Westbrook can't win a championship. And I will tell you why. Because if you're saying you know what you got in Westbrook, so it depends what you put around him. Either you put other players who are so inferior to what you need to win that you can't win a championship, or if you put plenty around him, like Kevin Durant and others, there'll be a clash in terms of that stuff in the moment of truth, and they still can't win a championship.
But you're looking at it from this perspective about Russell Westbrook. I'm looking at the opposition. You can't win a championship with Russell Westbrook because Golden State is standing in the way, because of Cleveland is standing in the way, just like Kobe and Shaq were standing in the way of AI. But don't tell me that. But don't tell me. I understand that. But I'm saying I don't believe that Russell Westbrook's the reason they lost last year. Let me be very, very clear. I don't believe that.
Because he was.
I don't believe
because
that.
He tried to do too much in the fourth quarter, and since he always tries to do too much, that abdicates responsibility.
Because I saw Kevin Durant have the opportunity to close the deal, and he did it.
Neither did Westbrook.
Well, listen. What I'm I'm saying to you is this. You're the penultimate dude. You're the supplementary piece. As great as Russell Westbrook is, he's the supplementary piece.
Right there. Wait,
Kevin Durant,
that's what I'm talking about. Westbrook can never be the supplementary piece because that's not his personality.
But I'm telling you,
that's why it didn't work.
I'm telling you in that series.
And then the question is he good enough to be the best player on a championship team?
Again, if you're giving me the 8-9 years Russell Westbrook's been in the league, we both acknowledge that on numerous occasions. I am telling you for that particular series, go back and watch each and every single game. That was Kevin Durant's series to take, and he did not do it. This is a fact. It cannot be disputed. I don't care what anybody says.
This is my favorite player to watch that I'm talking about, and there's a lot of excuses why
I'm just saying you're right. Except for that series in the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State Warriors, which Kevin Durant happens to go to now.
All right.
You got to handle that.
Gentlemen.
Ain't no doubt.
Let's leave it there.
All right.
Speaking of rivalries and handling things, remember these comments from Josh Norman after his battle with Des Bryant on Thanksgiving.
This guy bumping to me like, what's up? Where I'm from, we in unload the clip, so pretty much whatever you want to do.
Hey, Norman is now backing off those comments. So what does this say about him? We discussed the latest in the drama between Josh and Des, and rumors have swirled lately about Tony Romo being traded from the Cowboys. But someone says trading for the Cowboys now backup QB would be a horrible idea. You'll hear those comments when we come back right here on First Take.
What's going on? This is Kevin Hart, a.k.a. Long Face Little Body. And right now, you're watching my favorite show. I'm talking about First Take without Stephen A. Smith.